Well, I hate to disagree with somebody or raise a point when somebody's on my side of things, but let me clarify this. We all know that we've got timber companies and farmers and Alabama Power and unfortunately Alabama DOT using herbicides. But there's one big difference. They're spraying it on their own place. We don't want it on ours. Something else, the Willingham family asked me to convey to you, stop the herbicide spray. Their young son Maddox is in the hospital again for the third time. Please do the right thing for them and us. Stop spraying the herbicides. You don't want to join the problem. We don't want to join the problem. And I know most of you, that was just happened recently, so I added the top. I'm Greg Flanders. I've lived in the same old farmhouse on County Road 49 for 48 years now. The Alabama Power man said he'd have to take out the meter within 30 days when it started, so I guess I got that one with. I'm a Vietnam War Marine veteran, taught in overseas schools, managed some, also managed a small business, led the Cleburne County School Foundation. The decision to use herbicide spray for roadside maintenance in Cleburne County, Alabama, it's a bad decision. It's unnecessary, it's dangerous, it violates the will of the people, and it also violates federal regulations. We're not following MSDS sheets. We're putting stuff in water that it says don't. We are spraying our bridges and guardrails with herbicides that react on the metal. I think that's not real smart. Comes in a poor second or third place to endangering or risking the health of the people. This bad decision needs to be reversed immediately and permanently. The elected leaders of Cleburne County responsible for this decision are you folks. Laura Cobb, Emmett Owens, Terry Hendricks, Roger Hill, and Ryan Robertson. Yes, I know you only get to vote in case of a tie, you're ex officio. But you are the Cleburne County Commission. And I urge you to reverse this decision immediately and permanently. You're individually and personally responsible for this. The consequences are yours. They're not the spraying company. They're not the contractor. They're not the insurance company. And they're not somebody who's giving you advice. It's your decision. The leader always is ultimately responsible for the results. Doesn't matter if you're the captain of the ship and whoever ran it aground, it's your fault. You should have known that in 2001, 2012, and 2017, the people of this county overwhelmingly rejected spraying as a method of roadside maintenance. And it was stopped, the spraying was stopped. Our health and environment were already suffering from unnecessary herbicide spraying along our right-of-ways. We knew about the dangers of herbicides. No life is worth saving a few dollars. How can you face a person and tell them that you chose to spend money on something else by sacrificing their health or their child? I don't know how you're going to do it. Your reason can't be to save money We found $146,800 to pay to an out-of-county contractor. You've each got $2,000 a year for discretionary funds. And I told him that I'm delighted with what's happening to the library. That's a great place to spend money. I know that. But even that, as much as I love books, kids, and the library, the health of our people is more important. The people of Cleburne County should not be forced to have contact with herbicides on their person, the air, the land, the water, animals, and plants. They don't want it. I urge you to stop the people to have contact with herbicides on their person, air, land, water, plants, and animals. Do it immediately and make it permanent. Yes, Senator, you waving?
No.
Oh, sorry. Semper Fidelis. That's all I was going to tell you. Except this past week, I talked to the Vietnam War survivors of the 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines, and their families. This group has more experience with the horrors of herbicide-linked health problems than any other I know. They send you a warning. Stop. Think. Do not inflict on the people of Cleburne County, Alabama, what we're suffering. Parkinson's disease, cancers, leukemia, diabetes, asthma, respiratory problems, learning disabilities, birth defects, premature births, eye damage, damage to the central and peripheral nervous system, tumors, blisters, skin damage, damage to the liver, kidneys, and testicles. These folks got it all. In Vietnam, the 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines lived in the field for weeks. They were sprayed with Agent Orange herbicides. All came in contact with Agent Orange contaminated water, and many had to drink it. 50 years later, they and their families are dealing with all of these health problems linked to herbicides. Agent Orange was a herbicide concoction that usually had a mixture of 2 herbicides. The Veterans Administration now pays benefits to those who were exposed to Agent Orange, whether they were in the docks and contaminated Agent Orange or not. They're giving out benefits for more than 20 health problems now. The mixture used on our roads contains 4 herbicides mixed, plus a surfactant. 4 versus 2 in Agent Orange. And please look at what's going on in Vietnam. They're even worse off than my Marines. I've not found any studies on the effects of this powerful 4 herbicide mixture we're using. I doubt there is one. Herbicides, by the way, are many times stronger mixed than the sum of their parts, as much as 1,600 times more powerful. Folks, that's a pretty complicated chemical mess. It's true that some herbicides have a molecular structure that classifies them as salts. However, the similarity of the molecular structure of the herbicides used in Cleburne County are much, much closer to the herbicides used in Agent Orange than they are to table salt. A major problem with herbicides is that they disrupt the endocrine system. The damage may not show up for years and years, decades. Experiments have also shown that herbicides may be more effective, more harmful when they're diluted. So to say we're diluting a herbicide and using it in lower concentration, that doesn't mean anything. There's one example where herbicides were sprayed in a forest out west. The wind picked up the soil, and we brag about it sticking to the soil sometimes, some of our herbicides, Took it 20 miles away and killed a crop in parts per billion, about 13 parts per billion. At the reunion, I talked with Marines, corpsmen, children, grandchildren. I'll not use the exact words the Marines and the corpsmen used to describe what we were doing. They were in stunned disbelief that we would even think of doing this. They unanimously urge you not to inflict what they're suffering on others. Saturday afternoon, I stood behind a Marine trying to salute our flag, and his arm just became uncontrollable. He has advanced Parkinson's disease. His wife managed to steady his arm enough to get through the salute. Another Marine's widow was so angry that Agent Orange linked health problems that killed her husband. She had engraved on his tombstone, "Died of Agent Orange." I doubt any of you would contaminate her water with herbicides. I tried to comfort the widow of a Marine who died of Parkinson's. This man was a Marine's Marine, the stud, the point man, a courageous, brave Marine. A few years ago, just watching him struggle with his Parkinson's would have stopped you from thinking about using herbicide. Needless to say, his widow urges you to stop using herbicides. While he was in the States, Sergeant Major Basisi had a job of notifying families of the dead and wounded. He assures me that you don't want to stay up all night consoling a mother, especially if you had anything to do with the death of the child. Yes, sometimes their herbicide-related problems were overcome. Some of the premature children survived after months in the hospital. Some of the birth defects could be corrected after multiple surgeries. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in medical expenses. Just one child's medical bills would pay for mowing our county for years. Everyone asked at this reunion signed the petition, not as Cleburne County residents. They weren't, never have been, except for this one. But they wanted to warn us to avoid having to go through what they're going through. They're the ultimate examples of what can happen with herbicides on people. Not at the event, but decades later. The people of Cleburne County should not be forced to have contact with herbicides on their person, air, land, water, animals, and plants. Any dollars saved will never equal the damage to our health and environment. How will you ever be able to tell a family, especially a mother, I'm sorry? Resume mowing, please.